Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Here at Mad About Skin, we're passionate about helping you to get the most out of your skincare. So if you haven't already, now's a fantastic time to click that link below, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, and you won't miss out on any of our amazing future content. Now, in today's video, I'm keeping it short and sharp, and I'm going to bust some myths, specifically those relating to retinol. I have seen so much misinformation when it comes to retinol online, on blogs, from beauty editors, but also some guys, I think you guys seem to be a little bit confused around some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to retinol, and leaving me comments which I'm answering. So I've kind of pulled all together what I think are the 5 most common myths when it comes to retinol. We're going to bust them open today, and we're going to reveal the true truth about retinol. I actually did a whole video on my favourite retinol, so I won't go into those too much detail today, which I'll leave a link to that video up there. So check it out if you don't have a retinol in your life at the moment and you want to know which of the best ones to go for, check out that video. But today we're going to keep it short and sharp and get straight into those myths. Myth number 1 is that all retinols are the same. This comes about because drugstore companies, over-the-counter and drugstore companies, insist on just putting retinol on the front of a product. They know it's a buzz ingredient, people will buy into it, and so retinol will do when it comes to their marketing. Actually, there are so many different types of retinol. You've got the retinol, retinals, retinol palmitate. You've got so many different variations of what are vitamin A derivatives. The body treats them all slightly differently. Some have different strengths, some have different mechanisms of action, so deliver benefits to, say, acne-prone skin over drier skin, but also it can mess with the concentrations. So if you're buying a 1% retinol, it doesn't mean it's exactly the same as a 1% retinal, and it can be quite difficult to know what you're buying. Hopefully on this channel I take some of the complexity out of that, so check that video I linked earlier so you can work out which is the right one for you. But it is super important to match your retinol or your vitamin A derivative to your skin type, and not just go and buy that over-the-counter product that's labelled retinol and hope for the best, because no, that is a myth. They are not all created equally. Myth number 2 is that you should never apply your retinol around the eye area. Total false. The eye area actually is one of the first to show signs of aging, and so can really benefit from the anti-aging, the collagen boosting benefits of retinol, the resurfacing. You know, we can get pigmentation around there, which retinol will help with. Retinol, let's not forget, is the one ingredient in your skincare routine that can reverse the signs of aging that's already accumulated. So if you're noticing you're getting those first signs of aging around here, retinol is a fantastic addition to the eye area. Now, never, never, never apply it to the eyelid. This is one of the driest areas on the skin, the thinnest, and can really become quite sensitive, irritated and dry if you put retinol on. So definitely avoid the eyelid area, but under the eye, absolutely fine. I would always caution people to maybe be extra careful in that area, and don't forget that product migrates upwards when it's warmed, so don't put it close to the eye, you know, to the waterline where you could risk getting some in the eye. Put it just down under the contour, and naturally the body's heat will move it upwards, so your eye area can benefit from all the anti-aging benefits of your retinol. Myth number 3 is that you cannot use and should never use retinols and exfoliators together. What a load of rot. I think this comes about because they actually both have similar side effects. So retinol, you can get peeling, redness and irritation. When you first introduce an exfoliating acid, you can get peeling, redness and irritation. So I think a lot of people assume because they have similar side effects, you really shouldn't use them together. Actually, that's false. Really, what you should be doing is making sure you introduce them separately. So if you already have an exfoliating acid in your skincare routine, absolutely fine, continue with it and then include your retinol. If you already have a retinol and you want to include an exfoliator, that's fine. Don't introduce them both at the same time. I would say introduce your retinol and then around 3 to 4 weeks later introduce a exfoliating acid. That way your body's got time, your skin has time to accustomize and acclimatize to the retinol before you then apply the exfoliating acid. But no, use them together, love them together. Both will help retexture the skin, they'll help increase cellular turnover, pigmentation, help prevent acne and breakouts. Beautiful, beautiful combination, and it pains me that people are missing out. One of my top tips when you introduce retinol into your skincare routine is maybe just dial it down on your exfoliating acid. Move from like a 10% lactic acid to a 5% lactic acid. That way you're still getting that exfoliation to help with that dry skin, the peeling that you can get with retinol, but also you're adding some hydration because lactic acid is super hydrating. So that would be my top tip to get around that worry about whether you can combine the two in the same routine. Myth number 4 is one of those that I see all the time, and I don't know where this comes from, and that is that retinol makes the skin thinner and so is dangerous to use. Wrong, wrong, Wrong. So retinol will increase cellular turnover. So the upper layer, the first layer of skin, which is actually a layer of dead skin cells, will be thinner and thinned out through using retinol. But that skin cell's dead anyway. You don't need those in your life. And actually by removing them, you get the vibrancy and the luminosity back in your complexion. So yes, it thins the very, very, very upper layer of the skin, but that's a good thing because that's one of the benefits of retinol for increasing the luminosity and vibrancy of our skin. Actually, it triggers collagen and elastin, which is going to strengthen the skin overall. So instead of thinning the skin, it actually strengthens and protects the skin. So over a time of using retinol, your skin will be stronger, be more resilient, and just better health. So no, total myth, it doesn't thin the skin. It actually over time supports the skin and leads to a more robust skin mix and a better skin barrier. Myth number 5 is that retinol delivers instant results. Unfortunately, guys, this just is not the case. Retinol is fantastic as an ingredient. You know, it will reverse signs of aging, prevent acne and breakouts, resurface the skin, and help with hyperpigmentation. Beautiful ingredient, but the results take time to deliver. On average, I usually say to people, you'll start seeing the anti-aging benefits at around month 3, and the anti-hyperpigmentation, correcting that excess pigment at around month 5 or 6. That seems like a long time, and I hear you, but actually if you think of how long you've had these issues or how long they've affected your self-esteem and your confidence, actually I don't think that's too long to wait for a retinol, especially because it's something that should just become habit. You include it every night in your skincare routine once you build up to that frequency. So guys, do not expect results overnight, but I promise you, you'll just have to take my word for this. Including a retinol in your routine will lead to gorgeous, gorgeous skin in the future, and definitely should be something that you include in your skincare routine. There you are, guys. I have busted those myths, broken them apart, and hopefully just helped you to understand a little bit more about retinol and how actually it can be super beneficial to have in your skincare routine. If you have any other questions or concerns or worries about retinol, leave me a comment below because I will happily answer them and bust any other myths that aren't included in this video. In terms of my favourite retinols, I've left some links to them down below, though I would recommend you check out that video I linked earlier because that'll have a bit of a more in-depth explanation of each one for your skin type. But as a general rule, new to retinol, I would go for the Inkey-List retinol or the Indeed Labs retinol reface. If you're somebody who is established with retinols but maybe wants to up your game a little bit and go for a stronger one, then the Geek and Gorgeous A-Game is a stunning product. And if you want to go for something that's a little bit on the stronger side, you know, full strength, I'm used to retinol and I want to up my game to the max, then go for the Paula's Choice Clinical 1% or a prescription alternative. All of them are going to deliver gorgeous, gorgeous results. But I would say start slow and build your way up. There you are, guys. I hope you found this video useful and interesting. Wherever you are in the world, stay safe, stay well, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Bye.